The next line is the gross margin, also known as gross profit. Sometimes you hear people refer to it simply as the margin. They might say, is that a high margin or is that a low margin product? This answers the question, when you sell a product, what's left over after you pay for the ingredients? It's simply the difference between what we sold to customers and how much it cost to make the thing that we sold them. For Apple in 2018, it was $101,839 million. You can clearly see it's revenue minus cost of sales. This is how much we have left over to pay the overhead, which are all the other expenses that the business incurs, which we'll go over in more detail in the next video. If you can increase the price you're charging for iPhones and reduce the cost of ingredients, maybe by sourcing those ingredients in other countries as an example, then you could really boost your gross margin even more. On the other hand, if you have competitors like what Samsung is to Apple, you may have to lower your prices to be competitive, and you may also have to compete for ingredients, which could drive your cost of sales up, and both of these actions combined would lower your gross margin. But again, those are the two key and basic drivers that impact the gross margin of any product or service. Everything we've discussed so far is called above the line because it appears above the gross margin line item. That's a term you'll hear finance folks make reference to. I used to think it was some secret code myself, but now you know that it's just a reference point on the income statement. Make sense? So let's do a quick recap of what we've learned so far. Revenue is not cash. Revenue is recognized or goes up when a product or service is delivered to the customer. This is called revenue recognition. Cost of sales is the cost of the ingredients that go into making the product. Cost of sales is recognized at the same time the revenue for that product or service is recognized. And this is what we call the matching principle. And then gross margin or gross profit is revenue minus cost of sales, and it shows you just how much you have left over to pay for all the overhead expenses.